Okay, here is a look at my new seat concepts. This is the low seat for the DR650. Now I just did about a 50 mile, just over 50 mile ride and review on it, and this is a follow-up video where I compare it. But the one thing that I knew would give me an issue was this passenger bump right here. You're kind of stuck, you're limited to this spot right here. On the initial ride out, I was a little cramped because I had my tank back a little too low. On the ride back, I moved the tank back up, and that alleviated some of the issue of being cramped here. But I want to also point out, on the bike, I do have the lowered foot pegs. It's highly recommended that you have lowered foot pegs when you use the seat. And let me tell you, I can vouch for that. Even with the lowered foot pegs, I'm pretty cramped up in here. So if I pull a 500-mile day on this seat, it's going to be really uncomfortable. As I explained in the quick ride and review video, I got this seat to alleviate the problems I had while riding off-road, which was with the Procycle seat, it was impeding my ability to stand up. You got to stand up while you're off-road, lots of standing. So I just did the ride as I explained. I did 12 miles on the dirt, pretty much standing for about 98% of that time. Perfect, just what I was expecting. And as far as expectations, the seat performed just exactly like I thought it would. A little uncomfortable with this passenger bump here. I knew that was going to be an issue for me. I think I could pull, 200-300 mile days with half that, being on the dirt. This isn't an issue. So this is like the off-road seat for me. And I'm thinking of maybe seeing if I can get this passenger bump shaved off the foam there and making it level. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to pull this off, and we're going to compare it next to the Procycle seat and actually the stock seat. So I already got the screws out. There we go. All right, here we go. A noticeable difference in seats: stock seat, Procycle, seat concepts, low seat. Yeah, now I'll just start with the seat concepts here. So when you put this on, it's going to lower you about 1 1/8 inches. And it was pretty cool when I was off-road or when I'd come to a stop on-road or something. I can flat foot my DR650 now with this seat. It's pretty cool, actually. Next to the Procycle, you can see the Procycle is even higher than the passenger bump on the stock seat. You can see that. So it says Procycle seat is the same height as the stock seat, but I don't think that's true. As a matter of fact, I know it's not. That stock seat right there, you can see the Procycle seat is significantly, it's higher than the stock seat. So one of the issues I had with the Procycle seat, and I'm not saying it's a bad seat at all, it's actually a very comfortable seat. It's a fantastic seat. If you're doing a 500-mile day, I highly recommend the Procycle seat. It's got ample room for your caboose, but I felt like I was, even with an inch riser on my handlebars, I felt like I was leaning down into the bike with the Procycle seat. So that's one thing to consider. As always, on the bikes, whenever you change one thing, it's going to change something else. So the problem I had with the Procycle, the overall problem I had with the Procycle is this area. It was, you can see right here, versus the stock seat, and then also versus the seat concepts low seat. It's so wide up in this area that it was impacting my ability to stand on the bike, and that's a huge thing for me. Not just for off-road, even you do big mileage days, even when you hit, say, lower speeds or something, you go through, you go from 65 to 35 or something. That's when you stand up, and stretch your body out. If it's impeding my ability to stand, even when I'm in a situation like that, then the overall comfort of the entire ride it's impactful. So I will give the stock seat one thing, and that's how narrow it is in this point. So when you stand on the stock seat on the DR650, it's fantastic. After that, the stock seat is simply a torture device. So seat concepts low was narrow up here, I could go back to standing comfortably off-road. However, not quite as wide as the seat concepts. I think this section is 9 3/4, and I think this is like almost 11 inches. Or, I'm sorry, let's measure real quick. Procycle up in this area, this is 10 1/4. When you get back here, it's dang near 11 inches. Seat concepts low seat right here, and this is where your legs are coming down. This is 8 5/8 width here. That's a big difference, man. And it's 9 3/4 back here. This is where I was pushed up against the passenger bump where the ride back on the asphalt sitting down is, versus say 11 inches on the seat concepts. Now if we go to the stock seat, back here, this width 8 3/4. And then up here it's just under 8 inches, like 7/8, just a little bigger, wider than that. So that's some pretty big differences there. So depending on how you want to ride your DR650, is it a good idea to have multiple seats? Well, yes and no. The prohibitive part of that is the cost. The seats are expensive, man. So the Procycle seat was, when I bought it, it was well over $300. And as I mentioned in the other video, this was $420. That is because I expedited the shipping, so I added $20 more. So it was right at $400, I believe. So they're expensive. I mean, it's just expensive to deal with the bikes, you know. However, doing a seat swap is very easy on the bike. It's just a matter of 4 bolts, 4 screws, however you want to call it. Pull them out, put them in. It literally takes not even a minute to do it. So if I'm intending to do very long rides on road, it's going to be the Procycle seat for me. If I, 300, 200 miles with a lot of that being off-road, it's going to be the low seat concepts. And, you got wins and you got losses with every seat. Stock seat, of course, just get it off no matter what. And as I mentioned in the ride and review video, I do have an aftermarket tank on. Oh, look at that. That's loose right there. The main problem with seats and an aftermarket tank on the DR650, the only seats you got to really deal with that is the Corbin seats. So as far as that's what I got going with the seats for the DR650. Both of these, the Procycle and the seat concepts low, they're wins. However, both have their own limitations. Well, both have their pros and cons, and that's just the way it is. Okay, there you have it. I'll do a longer ride with the seat concepts as soon as the temperatures come down out here. Like I said, today's like 109 degrees. It's just ridiculous. So more riding coming up, more content coming up. As always, folks, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.